The first day of Christmas, the emperor gave to me Horus and his heresy. Okay.
Oh.
Hello and welcome. Yes, turtle. I know.
Wow.
Hey, actually have more. It has 2 inquisitors, 3 commissars, 4 grey knights, and custodes. Anyway. Hello and welcome to the Sanguinala Special Extravaganza Christmas Edition limited run release out of print edition of the War Report. I am here joined today by the usual co-hosts Nick, Rock, and Rachel. Good evening.
It's
Merry
so out
Christmas
of print
to you
you can't
all.
even get it out of Recaster.
Good
That's how out of print it
evening.
is.
Well, what it really is it's Curse City. It's so limited that everyone thinks it's going to be around forever until we bring it back next year.
Oh, snap.
That was a big surprise.
Oh, snap.
Well, it's coming back. It's coming back.
Big brain time.
Massive
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to think this is limited edition until we bring it back next year.
Yeah.
Curse City's
There
coming
you go.
back? Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Cries in resellers on eBay. Especially now. Imagine you're on eBay. It's Christmas. People definitely want the Curse City box. You're just licking your lips like, oh man, I'm gonna make the ton cash of money on this. And then Gizer's like, yo, we're restocking this bitch.
Dude, it's like the Indominus box where it got bought all by scalpers, and immediately Games Workshop came out and said, we will make these to order.
Pretty much.
And like the internet exploded because all the scalpers were out now like thousands of dollars because they
Well,
had
don't be a
bought the
scalper,
entire
man.
supply. Yeah. No, I was laughing because I'm like,
Don't be a scalper.
This is what you get.
It's like the time- Have you guys seen the story about the guy finding all the Switch scalpers on like Facebook Marketplace
Oh my
and making them
God.
all meet up at the same like KFC or something like that? So it's like 5 or 6 people showing up with 5 or 6 Switches apiece.
Sounds about right, but it's cool.
that is
That's
beautiful.
poetic. Well,
Poetic justice right
anyway,
there.
Good evening, gentlemen and lady. How you been? How was the week? Any games happening this week? Any kid bashes? Any heresy? Any war crimes committed? You tell me.
Oh.
Well, let's see. I started painting some Xeno stuff, so I guess that's a war crime.
Well, now you
Ooh,
you
heresy.
have casinos now.
Xeno.
No, they're not
Oh.
for me. They're not for me.
No, that's what they all say. That's what
But
they all
I
say.
actually, I got a coworker of mine into 40K this weekend.
One of us.
Started him
One
on
of
some
us.
One of
started
us.
him on some
One of us.
started him on some crawny boys.
Shout out to Sean.
I'd said, yeah, Sean went over to my table and I said, hey, look at my shelf of shame. I have like 2 like 1.5 meter tall shelves of full of models. And I said, pick an army, grab whatever looks cool. This man walks straight over to my shelf and grabs a Silent King. I'm like,
He's
oh
not
no.
wrong.
Yo.
And he's like, can I play this in a 1,000-point game? I'm like, yes.
Technically, yes.
Oh, no. Yes, but can you not?
Silent King and 1,000-point casual.
I'm in danger.
Yeah, naturally, I killed his entire army and then just got nuked by the game.
I love how you say naturally.
Naturally.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was playing Blood Angels. He has a fight last aura. What am I gonna do?
Yeah, he has a kneel before me,
Oh,
basically.
wow.
So he forces you to
He has,
fight last.
and he has like 12 attacks.
Yeah.
Sad Blood Angel
What,
noises.
what do you want me to
Sad
do?
boy.
He'll bonk you.
Sad boy.
I forgot about that rule and charged him with Death Company, and that just did not end well.
Well, the Death Company, the job, they're dead now. So yeah. Pretty much.
They did what they said they did on
Yeah,
the box,
it's in the
man.
name. It's in the name.
You know what? Do you know what it should say? They can do on the box? Not fail morale.
Yeah.
Hey, here we are.
Hey, that's my first bingo. Hey, that's my first for the bingo. Great.
Oh, yeah.
We started now.
Oh, yeah,
Hey.
bingo.
Our bingo card will be included. So if you want to join us and take a drink every time we hit bingo,
Oh, yeah,
that's number
bingo
one.
card?
Okay.
What is
I'm going.
Death
We
Company.
do. It's somewhere in here.
going here. Death Watch Company morale joke. There you go.
Yep, Death Company morale joke. There it is. I
Okay.
totally
Death
forgot
Company
about that.
morale
All right.
That's
all right,
actually
all right.
on there.
Jesus.
Well, anyway, how is so you play a game with your friend. So basically, you grab a newbie and nuke it to the hell, but it kind of backfired. Great.
I don't nuke newbies unless it's at a tournament.
Oh, that's a shout out to Rock. That's a shout out to Rock. There you go,
Rock,
sir.
I remember Rock was playing the other day, and it's like, Rock, chill out. He's a newbie, and it's like, Rock's like, you didn't give me any mercy. We're like, Rock, you met us at a tournament. Of course not.
No, of course not.
No mercy.
I mean, that was the first game was against me in that tournament. So yeah, it was a fun thing to do.
Yeah,
but
it was.
Any other games? Anyone happening? I know that Rock has been working on his kit bashing.
Yeah.
And he was showing photos against this crime against humanity.
What?
That is the that is the great and clean one. That looks disgusting. I love it,
Yes,
but at the same time, like, I am
great
Well, that's the
unclean
way
one.
it's supposed to look.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not the great clean one.
No. Oh my God.
No.
No.
I mean, I am tempted to print a Danny DeVito 3D model and just put it on the table. That should suffice.
Bingo.
There you
You
go.
mentioned demon engines.
No, I didn't say no. No. I did
come
not
on, that
say
totally
demon
counts.
engine. No.
That totally
no.
counts. Oh,
No,
fine.
no, you're cheating.
Fine.
I said great and clean one and Danny DeVito. I did not say demon engine. Shame on you.
You cannot put those
Shame
two in
on
the
you.
same sentence because I just think of the great clean one.
That's what we're talking about. That's what
I
we're
think
talking
I
the
just want to be
clean one,
pure.
man.
I just want to
Great
be
clean
pure.
one should have been on there instead, honestly.
No.
Like, wait.
No points for you, sir.
But honestly,
Sorry, go
as
on,
for the
Rob.
great unclean one, I tried. Like, how I ended up making is that, like, I was supposed the back part is I made it into a furnace that, and with a lot of chimneys and everything like that. So it's supposed to like spew out
Looks really
the
cool.
filth and like smokes and like pathogens or whatever. But like,
It's like an industrial.
yes,
filth.
exactly. But the base of the chimney, like I mean, the base of the engine or something like that, like it's supposed to be the forge roll drone for the AdMech. I was supposed to use that for our folded blow drone, but the forge world
The Greater
version.
Blight Drone.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, that thing. I was supposed to make it to that, but it turns out I think it's just a bit big or something like that. But turns out like, I was actually trying to make the great unclean one, and maybe I could use it as some sort of like the furnace for the chimneys and everything.
It looks good. It looks
So,
super
one
cool.
goes another.
Just to understand, you just grab a Forge World model that was for AdMech.
Yep.
You want to do something else, and then you just resalvage into just your Great and Clean one.
Exactly. Yes, and I did print the mower, and I
I'm just gonna.
I used that
I'm
as a
just
flail.
I'm just gonna casually ask, would it have been cheaper just to get the Clear and Clean one at this point?
I mean, yes.
That is a pretty expensive model, actually.
Is
If you're
it?
gonna buy one, it's even from our, it's cheaper for us to get it from Orktown here. It's still like 122,000 won.
Ah.
Still, the Great Unclean one is still and in US dollars, I know it's 140. Still a
Ouch.
pricey model.
I think it's about the same
Yeah,
price.
that's,
how much I spent on
yeah.
in the end, because a lot of putty was used and a lot of like parts were used from different kits.
Yeah.
So what is the reason why you made him look industrial?
The whole point of my kit bash right now is to make my engine list.
There you go! Bingo! Yes! There you go!
There you
Luke's
go.
fishing for it
There you go. I
now.
was totally,
N1 guys.
I was totally not fishing for that answer. I'm sorry.
You
I'm
just
still
have a
not
great
seeing
one. Right.
I'm still not seeing where the why do Death Company fail
Yeah, I
morale?
think we
What
forgot to
score
put
was
that on here.
I
That's
forgot
not-
to put it
it
there,
should
but it
be.
should have been there, honestly.
I mean, like
should be
the whole
there,
point of
yeah.
me like kit bashing into something like that, it's to have a death guard having some of the demons or like most of the demons at this point, like all of the demons into some sort of like mechanical suit or like mechanical armor or some demon engines to be exact or something like that.
There you go.
Exactly.
Bingo.
That is
There you
all
go. There
being
you go.
controlled, or should I say manufactured by the epidemic.
I Oh, now you're being cheeky. Now you're being
that's
cheeky.
another one.
No,
That's
no,
totally
no,
counts.
no,
no,
it's
it's
not.
not
It's
another
not.
one. It's not.
Don't force it.
Don't
You're
force
supposed
it.
to say epidemias. Nick, don't try to cheat.
No, are we not gonna acknowledge that?
No.
not.
It's
We're not.
the third time in less than 10 minutes you've been trying to cheat. Stop.
That is also the
That's
reason
what I do,
why
man.
I am printing like 20 Nurglings that I 3D model.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, that's
look
good. That's
cool.
good. Rachel,
Yeah.
how have you been? You were busy
I was-
modeling, or you were busy rolling some dice and playing some boys?
I was busy attempting to survive a shoot that I had last week that was quite long, but I got paid, so that's going to be nice. And you'll see me on television screens and unskippable YouTube ads everywhere.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I'd never
that's-
skip your YouTube ad.
Oh, thank you,
Lies.
but please do. Please do.
Yeah. Let's say that when you are like, it's been 3 months already since the
Oh
thing
no,
came
no,
out.
no.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'll
No,
never
he
skip
doesn't
it.
skip them because he just has ad block.
I never. Yeah, I was gonna say, I never said I turned off my ad block.
So yeah, I was originally gonna play the 1,000-point tournament that Suhoon was hosting.
Also me.
But yeah, I was one of the ones that had to cancel and drop because I gotta have money to buy models, so you know.
So
Fair
Fair enough.
Gotta work the jobs, and it's actually kind of it gives me some more time to play a couple more 1,000-point lists that I was considering but didn't have time to work on before the tournament, and it gives me time to paint my Vanguard vets because they're definitely still not painted. They're like base coated and like a little bit of detail on them, but I'd like to get them looking a little
Okay,
better.
there you go.
so-
Rachel's never-ending backlog. There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
another one.
Look, I didn't know if that counted for models or books.
Yeah, there it is.
I was wondering if that was models or books. Because I was like,
B5, both B5. Rachel's
know.
never-ending backlog.
yeah. Anyways, try to catch up on my backlog of books as well. Sitting on standby on the shoot, I when I was lucid enough to understand the English language, I was reading a little bit. So finishing up. I didn't finish it yet, but I'm further through one of the Watchers of the Throne books. I can't
Oh
remember.
yeah, I
which
remember
one.
we were talking on
Yeah.
Saturday because there was the reveal of the new book for Horus Heresy.
Yes. Yes, that beautiful cover. I'm very excited. No, that was before I even got the job. That was when I was in the club at like 2 a.m. trying to text the agent at the same time.
And I texted you.
Yeah, and then everybody texted me the Horus Heresy live stream update because I can't stream Twitch while I'm in the club. And I lost it at that cover. I was like, ah! And my friend was like, what are you freaking out about? And I just showed her the thing, and she's like, oh, it's your Space Boy stuff again, isn't it? I'm like, no. It is the Space Boy. You don't understand.
Yeah,
So,
I
yeah.
every time I see that, I just see that comic someone drew. It's like, holy terror, you ready to rock?
It really does look like Sanguinius is about to throw down like the best metal solo Holy Terror has ever seen.
Bingo. That's
No,
another one.
no.
Okay, that should have been a free space because this is the Sanguinala
G5
episode.
Sanguinius.
Yeah,
We're rocking this, guys.
yeah, we're rocking it. But no,
That should have been the free space. That's the topic du jour of the episode. Anyway.
It kind of was, yeah.
no, but
Yeah, that was
well, no, I know that we got a few games coming. I mean, we all have the tournament on the 8th of January. It's gonna be in Piontech,
Yes.
so
Yep.
gotta get
our
ready.
boy.
tournaments.
Well, it's technically mine, hosted by or organized and refereed by yours truly.
Yeah.
I will be the referee for that one. I'll be the judge.
Well, how does it
That
feel?
house has 3 floors.
I was gonna ask you. I heard of 3 floors, so basically you're gonna be doing your cardio. So
I was given permission to wear sneakers in the house, which if you know Korea, like that's like it is that serious that I was given permission to wear sneakers so I can safely run up and down the stairs.
So how does it feel to
'Cause they're
actually
hardwood.
do what your army does? Actually move fast all across the board, but all across the house.
You become the
Sadly,
army.
we don't have 3 Nicks to be running around.
4. One is the actual name Nick.
Oh.
Dude, I can barely take care of myself. You do not want to carbon copy me. Then you're just like, look, you took a perfectly good Nick, and now you gave it anxiety.
No.
How is that different than normal, Nick? I really don't
This
understand.
is very true. You got me there.
Well, I know we have that.
Yeah,
and,
I will be checking kit bashes and dice and
And
dice.
all
You gotta be
that
checking
fun
dice.
stuff.
What? Do you think people will
Yeah.
be cheating?
yeah, one person.
Who?
Oh.
The bait is so weak.
The bait is so
Bait
weak,
I've
not
ever
even
seen.
Angron would take that.
This is so weak.
Hey, we tried. Okay, we tried.
But yeah, I have a ringer list coming to that. And it's public knowledge, so it's just I'm running literally just 100 troops in Be'lakor.
Wait. How many people are playing though? How many people are playing though?
We're 12.
12.
12?
It's a big event, yes.
That's a lot.
That's why the event's on 3 floors.
So you have like
That's why the event's on 3
three
floors.
games per person, right? 3 games per
Yes,
person?
3
Three
games per
games.
person, 6 tables.
Nice.
That's surprising. So how does the system work when it comes to like scoring? Like,
It's for points.
Same as normal. It goes to games. It goes to total win-loss record, and then it goes to points.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if after it goes to points, I have to check. I have it set up to where a BCP will rank people like 6 measures deep.
Right.
It even goes down to the point where it measures the strength of the people you beat.
Wow.
So like, let's say someone beat the 12th and 11th place person, but lost in the finals, but the other person lost to the 3rd place person, but beat 2nd and 4th. They would go above it. They would go above it just because if they tied on points, because he had a harder like strength. That's like the absolute last one.
That's an
But it
interesting
goes down to like that level.
Like the person had a harder match, so kind of like
Yeah.
power levels. Interesting.
The BCP
over
tournament app
9,000.
the BCP tournament app is really cool with like how deep it goes. Cause you think of like these 1,000-man tournaments that use these apps, they are absolutely going to have ties. So it goes so deep on how far down it can go to break a tie. So it's really cool.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I'm gonna have to get some practice games in because I haven't played games. It's funny. I was playing games at 2,000 points for a really long time that it felt weird to go back to 1,000 points just for the tournaments that we had done. And
Yeah,
now I
that's
gotta go back
normal.
to 2,000 points, and I'm like, what do I put in my list? What's painted? Yeah, all that. Okay.
Yeah, are you gonna be ready? You better get ready for that tournament. We're 3 weeks out?
You are funny. I'm just gonna do it all like 3 days before, like I usually
Are
do.
you gonna
Do
be?
you have
When is it all
everything
worked
ready?
out for me?
ready?
Yeah, you have your own stuff, or you are gonna keep borrowing stuff. No, I know. I'm legit not trying to bait you on this one. I'm actually just curious because I know you're working on this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot more stuff done than in the past, and it all depends on what I decide to take as well, because my strategy can be a little bit different with 2,000 points versus with just 1,000 points, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
let's
You know.
play. I'm gonna bring the custodies, and I'm gonna make you taste the death card list that I'm bringing to the tournament. Don't want to spoil the surprise.
Sounds fun.
Actually, just recently, this past week, Blood Angels topped a GT.
What, really?
What?
Yeah, I'll send you over the video, but it was the world's strangest list. I actually have it here.
World's strangest
Okay.
list.
It was.
What do
It
we
just
got?
does not look like it doesn't. So whenever you think of a Blood Angels list, you think of people just spamming either dreadnoughts or they're spamming Sanguinary Guard. Here's this list. It's a battalion detachment.
Battalion?
So you have a smash captain.
A smash
jump-
captain
a
in
ju-
ninth?
Yeah, but what you do is you give him Soul Warden.
Okay.
You give him Rights of War. So he has a 5-up Feel No Pain. Rights of War gives Obsec to everything around him. And you give
Okay.
him, I always forget about this relic, Visage of Death relic. Removes Obsec from everything within 6 inches that is not Blood Angel.
Ooh,
Oh,
interesting.
I forget about that relic.
So he gives Obsec to everything around him and removes it from enemies.
Ooh.
It has a Primaris Chaplain with the Adamantine Mantle, so it has a 2-up, 4-up.
On bike or just normal?
On bike, yeah. Primaris
Okay.
on bike.
Chaplain.
The Priest with the jump pack and the...
So, I have a question about this
yeah.
list. So, the question about this list is, what is the focus of the list? I mean, I know it's obstacle based, but it's basically the usual thing is just get close, get dirty.
Well, what's the meat on the
yes
elite
and no.
units?
So this is actually really cool. I'll list what else is in here. 5 assault intercessors, 5 incursors, 5 intercessors. This is where it gets weird. 5 Death Company Marines, 3 hammers, 2 swords and pistols.
No jump packs? So they like...
No, of course jump packs. Yeah, with jump
Okay.
packs.
Of course.
A Relic Contemptor with twin Volkites. A squad of 7 guard with axes. A squad of 7 guard with swords. Scout squad
Scouts?
with combat nuts.
Huh.
3-man Inceptor squad with plasma exterminators.
Okay.
2 squads of eliminators with las fusils. And a land speeder.
Interesting.
What is happening? What is
So
this
what
list?
so what he took with this list is he took Oaths of Moment. He took Engage on all, or Oaths of Moment, Rod, and Relentless Assault, which is a Blood Angel secondary. 4 points if you're in your opponent's deployment zone.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And I think the if I remember correctly, the Inceptors start in reserve. The Plasma Scepters start in reserve.
Uh-huh.
Very
This
interesting.
meter makes it probably.
So yeah, but if you think about it, the strongest army is still Drakari. With Thick
Yes.
City, Drakari crumbles if you kill the Succubus and the Grotesque. The 2 characters. The Thick City synergy crumbles.
Why?
I now have 2 squads of eliminators that can
Wait.
ignore Lookout Sir
Yeah, that's why. Because you know Lookout Sir.
at max range. So you can just a lot of the armies now have strong character synergies. So the list is designed to just snipe out characters. I think the guy got 100 points against a Grey Knight list because he sniped out the Grand Masters.
Yeah. The last few.
And he
so-
sniped
But wait a minute,
sniped
hold
out
up.
like Kaldor Drago. He just
I'm
sniped
still
him.
wondering.
Calder Drago.
First of all, the image of Kaldor Drago just getting sniped is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
The second question I have is, what was he using the scouts for?
You forward deploy them.
You can screen.
They're
Okay.
infiltrators, right?
To grab an
But they're
objective,
cheaper.
you can grab an objective, and they have camo cloaks. So I think camo cloak gives like -1 to hit, or it gives light cover.
They still...
They
okay.
got a plus save also. Like
I
bonus
still
to
have-
bonus to saves.
That
They
is
get
the
bonus
limiter.
to
Yeah.
Yeah,
saves.
that's the limiter. True. Yeah.
It's just so
So,
weird. Like, I really
but
don't see them get
The
used.
way
So...
they have not been used since 8th. They were super popular in 8th.
Right.
Add 1 to any armor save against a ranged attack.
Wow.
And so the point is, the way this list plays is you load up some stuff in your land speeder, and you empty your back lines. You have no deep strike like protection. You empty.
Okay.
And you just basically run up the board. You use Forlorn Fury or Fury of the Lost. And you just run up the board with your 5 death companies, and you just go ballistic on them. Like
Just
it
go
is
ham.
reckless. It's reckless abandon.
Well, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do with that company anyway.
But like, no, the whole list does this. The whole list is reckless abandon. Run up the
you mean I
board.
finally get to just charge into melee like I've always wanted to?
Yeah, that's exactly how this list works. Is it just wants you up the board? Because if you can spend
that is
3
beautiful.
turns in the opponent's deployment zone, which really isn't hard if you think about it with some forward deploys.
You just have to survive.
Yeah, and
you just have to get there and survive.
and with how fast, but you have a bunch of damage 3 weapons. Between like, you got a bunch of damage 3 weapons. You have the Inceptors and the Eradicator or the Eliminators providing cover fire. And yeah, you just move up the board as fast as you can. Oh, and you have the Redemptor Dread or the Contemptor Dread supplying fire. You have but the downside is you really have no psychic presence, and you have no backline protection.
Yeah, no
Like, yeah,
denies.
to run, you have to commit.
So
But only one contemptor
no,
drip.
true.
Yeah, it's all you can
Oh,
afford.
only one.
Oh, okay.
So basically,
Good thing
Yeah.
I have one built and only one.
well, there you go, Rachel. I know you're
Wow.
gonna be playing next
Yeah.
week.
I'm definitely gonna look at this list and see like how it plays because that's that's how I
I'll send
want
you
to
the
play.
video. They have some. They have a video breaking it down.
Awesome,
send it
because
over
that's
to
how I
you.
want to play. I mean, like when I first picked up Blood Angels, I'm like, great. I just want to, yeet myself into melee
Yeet.
and have a good time. And then literally everything that this game has taught me so far is you are not the best at doing that, and if you do that, you will not win. So
Wait. I got a question though. Luke had a question, and I was supposed to ask this after Luke.
yeah.
Hey Nick, so does that mean you're finally gonna play your Blood Angels?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can finally come back, heretic.
Excuse you, I played them this weekend.
No, I mean
It's
like
just-
in
No.
tournaments. I'm talking about.
Casual games are not counted.
I don't. That depends. One, how many games can I get in before our next event? Because I'm not playing in the January 8th. One, so how many games can I get in? Two, can I get the models I need? I do not own any eliminators.
Right.
I don't own a land speeder. I don't own a relic contemptor, and I don't own a smash captain. Actually,
Well, it probably doesn't
So-
have to be a 1-for-1 copy of the list, right? I feel like you can tweak the list a little bit
but
depending on
I
what
really,
you have.
I really like the way it plays. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna run something
The-
similar
the,
for
the
a bit.
challenge with tweaking lists is that happens the thing. Okay, I can put this to make it work, and then that's not
You'll
work
lose
at all.
synergy.
It does
shatters
not work at all.
everything,
I've
yeah.
done that with the.
I'll probably
wireless.
proxy for a bit.
Hey, guess
see
you
how
can
it goes.
finally borrow models from me instead.
Ooh.
Do you have eliminators?
I don't have eliminators, but I have a relic contemptor.
Okay, that I can borrow.
Yeah, I have
Um,
some other stuff too. I actually, believe it or not, I have scouts. They're not assembled, but I have them.
What scouts? But they're not
Yeah.
primaries, right? They never release anything.
No, they're firstborn.
No.
You got it. The primaries are the infiltrators and the cursors, right? The version of scouts.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Primaris
yeah.
version.
Mm,
And that's why, scouts haven't been used, but they're only 75 points.
that's cheap.
Only.
So
That's cheap.
But they take up
Yeah.
an elite slot, don't they?
that is their downside.
That's what makes them bad. They went from troops to elites.
Well, it makes sense. Come on,
Ah.
if troop is unlimited. There was I remember
Yeah.
there was the old school meme about the guy who had his entire army on reserves, and then he just put
Yep.
this scouts all over the deployment.
The scout line.
Yeah, the scout line.
Yeah, and that's also why you can't deploy in people's deployment zones anymore. You have to deploy 9 inches from their deployment line now.
Well, nice catching up with
That sounds
the whole
fun.
the army shenanigans. But well, of course, let's get to the meat and bones of this extravaganza special episode. We're talking about basically just want to talk lore, which is also something we all do in general, but not just lore. Oh, you need to be strict, follow the Codex Astartes. I hate you, Leandros, and I hope you die in the new game. I mean, in general.
Yeah,
purposes.
if anybody doesn't know, Space Marine 2, y'all.
Yeah, Space Marines
Get
2 is coming
excited.
up. Yay! Finally.
Get excited, Titus is back.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
live.
baby.
I live. But yeah, mostly I'm just curious about some of the stuff of the lore. What makes your army feel super more tasty when you play? Because I remember when playing Rachel, we were playing Custodes versus Blood Angels, and normally this never happened. We just start making jokes. Oh well, my guys invited you guys to the Blood games, and we were, like in the first game, the Blood Angels were getting smashed. And we were like, yeah, Dante's on the phone talking to the Avengers. So, how are you guys doing? We're doing fine. And because they were just smashing in the background, just completely destroying the Avengers. You know,
It's like they post like I'm about to go fight. I'll post the video later. And then, like,
No, never mind. I got my ass beat.
yeah, exactly.
I'm not posting that.
I'm not posting
So
that.
yeah, that's what I mean in lore journal wise, not just like strict to the book, because we know we have the lore keeper here, Rachel. But yeah, it was kind of fun just to talk about that, because we're just making jokes like, oh, like the Custodes inviting the Blood Angels. So I guess you don't come to the Palace grounds very often, don't you? Oh, of course you don't. Like, like I play the super.
Of
Yeah.
course you don't.
Do you know about the Palace District? Of course you don't.
Of course you don't. Is the Custodes looking at the Sanguinary Guard like, I see. We can't have anything.
I was a Blood Angel too before I took a bolter spear to the knee.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, that's why I wanted to curiosity when it comes to the game, how you see your armies playing, the little lore behind your armies on top of whatever you like about the story.
The little things, dude.
yeah.
All the little
I'm sorry,
things.
but I hate Lord of Table because my Lord of Change got bonked by termagants.
Well, you better, I guess.
It got killed by termagants.
Hey, it makes sense. He got swarmed.
Hey, it pleases Zinch.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It was 5 of them.
Again. He had a bad day, okay? He was.
Hey, it's all part of the great plan,
He
okay?
was just making his
You gotta
knees.
trust the plan.
Trust the step 2, kill Lord of Change. Step 3, profit.
Yeah, it's like when we were playing that. It was like I was playing Sam back in the day. Shout out to Sam, we miss you. He was playing his demons, his Sinch demon army, and I just watched the man roll perils 3 times in a row with the chicken. But he was not rolling 12s. He was rolling 1s, and he had like +2 to cast. So he was rolling perils, and nothing was going through. And then he just looked at me like, so my chicken just took like 9 mortal wounds out of his own perils. I'm like, did he have a 3 up save? Yeah, it did not matter at all. So I ended up killing the chicken, which just by his own demise. It was the full game. By turn 2, the guy was just broken how poorly his psyker phase went. It's like, yeah, this is Sinch doing his stuff. I hate you, Sinch. Thank you.
Yeah,
That is like-
I've
that's
blown
like
up
me
my own
rolling the
chicken a
ones.
couple of times. I've had my chicken. I will always say Demetrius has never killed my chicken because right as he was about to do it, I rolled the impossible robe check and rolled a 1, so I committed seppuku.
The Sudoku.
So,
Nice.
so I committed the holy Sudoku. So the Demetrius has never killed the chicken. It committed Sudoku.
I killed a chicken. Yay.
Oof.
Didn't it commit Sudoku against you too?
You failed to roll the 2. You failed. You
yeah, I
failed.
rolled a 2. I rolled a
You
2.
rolled a 2. You didn't roll a 1.
Yeah,
You fumbled.
He's been killed a couple of times. Yeah, he's
How
very
about
hard
the
to kill, but
beautiful-
he has died.
The lovely
The
Snake Eyes
unkillable
charge
chicken
versus
has
Luke.
finally died.
Sorry.
What's the
That was
meaning of
fun.
this?
Rachel?
Oh, sorry.
Speaking of awful dice rolls, I think I rolled 6 1s in a row versus
Oh
Luke.
yeah, that
the
was
last time we
beautiful.
played.
Yeah,
That was a sight to behold. I remember.
I always am +1 to charge, so I don't even think about making charges that are really close 90% of the time. I swear, I was like 4 inches away from Luke on a charge, and I rolled double ones.
So my custodians were like standing there. The blood was like breathing on their face, and he's like, "I'm going to charge," and then he just fell flat on his face in front of the custodians. And the custodian just looked,
just standing
and the
there,
custodian just looked down
menacingly.
and like just loaded the gun. It's like shame.
Shame.
Hey, you throwing your golden banana peels on the floor to Tanglefoot half my
I
army.
just love that
The-
because she had this dreadnought in a crater all across the table. It was like -2, and then just threw a banana peel across the table. Now you got 4 -2 6. So the dreadnought was like, yeah, I don't move then. I just stay here.
But it's funny because I think
Guess I'll
that's like
just die.
that's one of like your only like low CP strats that you can use, and most of the time you're fighting stuff that flies anyway, so you don't get to
Yeah.
use it, and you're like, oh, wait a minute,
Wait a minute.
I have a strat that's like under 3 CP. I can
Yeah.
do this.
I can actually
But
do this.
do you know the greatest lore to table model I ever think that has ever existed is Karn the Betrayer.
Of course.
Because
of course.
you cannot
Yeah.
reroll. He always Gorechild, his axe always hits on 2s.
always.
And but it also says he cannot reroll 1s.
What? Why?
Because every 1 he rolls, you have to kill an allied unit with an engagement
Yeah.
range. And also, but he gives reroll all hits to berserkers
Uh-huh.
within 1 inch. So you have to get within killing range to get rerolls on your Corn Berserker.
The man is a
Just more,
machine.
more evidence that Karn is based. Like,
Yeah.
seriously.
Karn is the well, as I say, just to explain to some people how Karn the Betrayer, he used to be Karn the Bloodied. Now he's Karn the Betrayer because there was two Chaos Warbands fighting on a death world similar to Fenris. It's an ice world, you know? Like, it's said to be cold enough to kill even Space Marines, to freeze Space Marines to death. Karn walks out and he looks around and nobody's fighting because there's a blizzard that could kill a Space Marine. He's like, I don't like this. And pulls out a flamethrower and kills both sides.
Okay.
Because they were hiding and not fighting for the blood god.
Hey, man, the
So
nails were
that is
singing.
how he
Just
has
let
his
him
name.
go.
This is a
Karn the Betrayer.
Korn did not like this.
this is the kind of thing that you see that it's fun, but at the same time, okay, this kind of gives like personality to Chaos Space Marines. Then do you have anything
Right.
like this on loyalist sides? No, you have lame honor of the Emperor. I will use my super thing
the
to
Flesh
do
Terrors
something
would like a
in the
word
honor
with
of the
you.
Emperor. Meanwhile, Connor's like, bro, I'm gonna whack my brother right here next to me if I roll a 1. Like, the guy is too angry to roll ones. And like, you
I just
I'm
love
sure-
that he can't even reroll
Yeah,
them. He can't reroll
imagine
them.
the Berserker is like fighting for 2,000 years and he's next to Karn and he's like sweating. Like, please don't roll one. Please don't roll one. Please don't roll one. It's like-
Wait,
The-
speaking of
yeah.
bad rolls though, like what Rachel said, like my game with Anthony, like 2 weeks ago, it was absolutely horrible.
Oh yeah.
I had
Were you
the
using
worst dice roll
normal
ever.
plastic dice? Were you using normal plastic dice?
No, I was using my dice. Thank you.
You're-
They're not loaded.
They are loaded. There you go.
Not loaded.
Bingo.
Your loaded Chinese dice.
Okay, just
Loaded
tell
Chinese
me.
dice.
Okay, I'll tell you what happened. I'll just tell you guys
Oh,
what happened.
before you go, I'm gonna tell Anthony's version. Basically, roll terribly with his tanks. That's what he said.
Yes. Everything, not the PVCs only, but also with the blight haulers and everything, the obliterators.
You're welcome, trademark.
I just
Also-
imagine that they're just they're like Irish as hell, and it's just like,
Obliter-
the obliterators are coming.
I swear to God, it's like
I just offended the entire island of Ireland. I am sorry.
Father O'Malley O'Reilly, who's also Italian.
I swear, like, have you ever
Time for the war
seen
report to get canceled.
okay, my game of Tally was at 2 at the game, like at turn 5.
Oh,
At turn 5, it's
dude.
on turn 2. Yes, that's
Only
how
2
bad it was. I'm
tallies
not even
on
lying.
turn 5?
Yes.
You have brought shame to Nurgle, man.
Wow.
I just gotta say, I've seen you do that too, Rock.
Ouch.
The first day we met,
Oh,
just like yesterday.
God.
Hey,
But-
you deploy on the line, you die on the line.
but seriously, like when it comes to that role on like the roles on the game, like during Anthony's game, it is just absolutely horrible. I killed none of his units, like literally, until like turn 4 or 5. That's when I start to kill like 1 or 2, and that's it.
Ouch.
That's it.
Ouch, 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 ouch.
I got 0 on grind.
The big says.
Oh.
Yes, and since all his rubrics are like literally all offsets because they are troops, they literally just came to like my side of the land and they started to say hi and just kill all my poxwalkers and my cultists and my PVCs one by one with his
What?
stupid relic that when a warlord has a vision of your model, it removes everything what you have. Like literally, like -1 to hit. Like -1 to hit or -1 damage, everything. Like literally, if you buffed it, it's gone.
Are you mad that somebody else's troop units are doing the same thing as Plague Marines? Being unkillable and just murdering things as they walk up the board?
At least, like,
Wait, you get troop units that actually hold objectives? What? Sorry.
well,
I'm sorry,
relate.
you guys get troop units that have 2 wounds?
oh, sorry, Mr.
You get like
30 of them, Nick.
with a 20-man bluff for like 5 points. Sorry.
I don't-
Sorry.
Okay, no.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're 80 points. Or no, 160 for a 20 man. But yeah, I see.
Yeah, talk to Luke's custodies and ask him how he feels
Yeah,
about
I had like,
abuse.
I was playing with Rachel, and like, oh, she killed 2 custodians. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot of death. How many models I have left? I have 2 now. What?
It's like the
That's
it's
so
like that
funny.
first time we played APOC and you held the line against the cron so I could get over there.
I'll never stress how painful the game was.
Oh, it was
like-
so much fun though.
Wait, but like overall though, like I'm glad that I had that horrible game. So I'm actually having a game of League in this week at Benny's place.
Mm.
I think I got my bad rolls out of the way. That's all I can
You say that now,
Luke-
but man, why would you
Rock,
say that?
I want you to appreciate me right now. I did not roast you. I held my tongue because it's the spirit of
Oh,
Sanguinala.
good lord. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Let's go on.
That's your Sanguinala gift right there.
All right.
What? Are you kidding me?
So yeah, I also have a few games. Yeah. Well, I also have the league games because yes, Nick, Rock, and I are in the playoffs. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
But yeah, I was gonna say, Rock, you barely got in on a wild card. Do you know what the difference between you and
Oh.
Luke is?
What?
Luke reads his
is it?
codex.
Oh!
Buy the damn codex. You're hurting me.
Bingo!
Bingo! Bingo! Bingo! Bingo! Bingo!
Bingo!
Ding 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 ding. You're
Rock by the
hurting
damn
me.
codex.
I'm telling you, Nick, right now, and also for the previous time, I had my cheat sheet, and I'm just happy with that.
Your cheat sheet.
I hate you.
Your cheat sheet.
I hate
I
you
saw
so
that
much.
thing for the first time the other day, and I was like, Rock, what is this? And he's
Do
like,
you
oh, it's
understand
my
my
cheat
rage?
sheet.
It's like the most rocked piece of cloth. Paper, sorry. It's like, oh no, this is my purity. So no, dude, that's trash.
It's
Get
this
rid of it.
tattered relic, and he calls it a codex.
You're gonna get the nurgling stick from my demon section. If I see that piece of paper, you are getting the stick.
No.
Try.
I want you next time we meet. I'm gonna beg you, please bring your cheat sheet. Bring it. Bring it. Please
I'm
bring
going
it.
to murder you.
I'm
going to kill you.
gonna get a cheat sheet in front of you and just burn it. I'm gonna
He's
burn
got
it.
like every Death Guard entry on Wahapedia like written onto the Shroud of Turin, and he pulls it out at these like tournaments.
I should have left that thing at Old Dice months ago, back in
Yeah,
June.
you should have done
I
that.
should have left that thing at Old Dice.
You
Cursed you,
monster.
man.
Retrieving the cheat sheet was a mistake.
It was. That is one of
Miyazaki.
my life regrets. I don't regret a lot of things in life, but that was one.
You monster.
Well,
My cheat sheet will be with me forever and ever.
I had a league game as well. I had the league game on Sunday. I played on TTS because my opponent lived in Daejeon, a few hours away from here. And meeting is hard, but at least it's interesting. And it was surprising because he was playing Space Wolves, which I know because I played Christopher many times. But he was not playing anything like I have seen before. He had a drop bot with Terminators and Multi-Monta guys.
Yeah, boy.
It's
First
Which-
one.
it's
the
Which he
Hamey,
forgot.
I think Hamey Paris
Yeah.
ran that list.
But the thing is, like, he forgot to draw the drop bot in turn 1.
Oh.
So, so I was just, it's like first turn.
that is
And he
tragic.
starts shooting. I'm like, isn't the drop pod allow you to drop on turn 1? Like, isn't that the rule? I mean,
Womp
I said
womp.
Wow.
he was already shooting. It's like, are you sure you shouldn't drop it? Oh, I forgot about like. Yeah, I figured. I didn't ask because like I thought you had a plan, but clearly there is no plan here.
Wow, you managed to
Space
tell
Wolves, though,
them.
man.
You managed to tell him that after he starts shooting.
Because I was literally just looking at that, and then I said, "Wait a second, why has so little models on the table?" Oh yeah, he has a drop bot, and like I saw drop bot in the corner of the table because it's TTS. You kind of, I was paying attention to the game. I wasn't paying attention to the things outside the board. Oh yeah, he had a drop bot. And then he said, "Oh yeah, I forgot to drop it. Oh well, what do you want to do?" And they said, "No, it's fine. I already messed up, so let's see how it goes." But yeah, I managed to win. It wasn't easy in the sense because he made me spread a lot, but I had some good rolls of shooting. He was not expecting the heroic intervention from the Voltron. I explained it how it worked even before he did it. Just say, "Hey, I can intervene. What you gonna do?" He changed his target, but I was still within range of intervention. So it did work. He dodged my deny charge range, but he could not deny me the intervention. Yes. So Bloodrun did the job again. So
what list was you
Very nice.
using?
I
Anyway?
was using the vehicle list. The
the engine list.
No, the Satan vehicle list. That's what I was using.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was using the deceased man, the deceased man who keeps tallies. So yeah, he was a cool guy.
Are you
Dude,
sure?
I'm the more I
pretty sure
look
he
at
has a
these
name.
lists, the more I look at these lists, man, I'm just like, I cannot because I feel like shooting that much, I would be so bored.
Which list? My list?
Same.
Just like those in general, like shooting lists, I feel like I'd be so bored, man.
The thing is, like, I don't have much shooting. The only shooting I have is the 3 PVCs I was running. Everything else was just melee. I'm not running
Speaking of
the
shooting,
Blightorators, that's all. I mean, I had Be'lakor. Be'lakor did his job. He said, "Hello, I'm Be'lakor. Your storm shield means nothing to me." And then the entire the backup band just died.
That is always the most satisfying moment when they go to roll their invulns and you're like, huh, no.
No.
I remember the first time I
No.
fought Be'lakor, and I had, what did I have next to? I can't
2
remember.
dreadnoughts he had.
Something, yeah, Be'lakor just mulched everything in front of him, and then I had one guy stand up to his attacks and still live, and I was like, great, awesome. And Luke was like, by the way, I'm gonna spend 2 CP and make him
3.
fight twice, and I was like, GG,
So,
okay.
so goodbye to your chaplain and the landman stand. Yeah.
Oh man, I was like, yeah, he's such a Chad. He tanked all that damage. He's fine. And you're like, yeah, he fights twice. I'm like, oh, GG.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Although,
that translates to the other game we had Rachel with the Custodes, which was much more fun. Basically, because at some point I had 2 little bottles on the table, which is basically Custodes, the issue.
Yep.
But I mean, that's what I was saying about the lore thing about in general, how funny
That one damn Venatari.
Yep, yeah, that one.
That
but
one damn
that's why I find
Minotaur.
the lore in this kind of thing so stupid and funny about the Custodes, because the Custodes can teleport. Basically, when they go to battle, just teleport in the middle of the battle and then
Bruh.
do the thing.
It's great.
What is that one Custodes model that lets
Yeah.
you do that?
And I was like, Rachel said, "Why are you not using UCP?" I had like 4 CP. I was like, "Girl, I can
You'll
only do
see.
this
There's
once,
a reason.
and you'll see why I'm gonna do it." So I walk out with my Maxilla. So this one man Custodes walks in front of the a dreadnought and a bunch of guys with his flag and just waves it, and suddenly a dreadnought just drops in front of her.
Nothing personal,
It's
kid.
like, hello, I am Mr. Achilles Contemptor Dreadnought. Here's my spear.
You're like, oh, you have a contemptor? So do I.
I have the spear.
Mom, can we
Contemptor.
get a contemptor? We have contemptors
We
at
have
home.
contemptors at home.
Yeah.
Bro, I am so excited though for Custodes to get their new codex.
Me too.
Yes.
I'm so excited. I'm getting more and more hyped. They look so much fun.
Speaking of new
Yeah, a lot
codexes,
of new things.
So Rachel,
Pretty
go on.
much.
I was gonna say I'm excited for my battle suit loving friends out there with the new Tau updates.
Crystal! I love you, Crystal.
Yeah, shout out to Brandon and Crystal. But,
I love you, Crystal.
I finally, my friend had posted something in the other Discord, the one that I talked to my 40k friends back in Oklahoma, about like the Tau getting an update in Melee, and I clicked that link so fast, thinking, finally, the Tau are going to be able to swing at me in Melee, and they're like, oh no, they can fire their guns in close combat. I'm like, oh
Oh,
They have no glory, no honor.
no. I was like, man.
so it makes
Okay,
sense.
fine.
It's the meme, like get an ambulance, but not for me, and just pulls the gun. So basically, that's pretty much it. But yeah,
Yeah,
no, with the
it's-
Custodes part, I got hyped. I ended up doing something that I normally don't do, mostly because I got a little extra money this month. I bought the model from Age of Sigmar, Castellan Bastion.
Oh yeah.
and-
Bastion is so cool.
Yeah, and then I
It's
can
such a
bash
good
him
model.
into a Custodes champion. But I'm making I'm making a separate base so I can use him for 40k and for Sigmar.
Nice.
Dude.
It's completely legal,
I-
but I love it anyway.
Your
Nobody's
model
gonna
makes
stop
me
you.
want to. Your model makes me want to play Sigmar more. Although you are not helping the model addiction over here, Luke.
Excuse me, mister. I just gave you a Sanguinala present. Because you said,
Yes.
oh, I want to start Daughters of Cain. I want Daughters of Cain. Like, okay, I got it. I got the message. You want Daughters of Cain.
No, you didn't, because you texted me saying, I'm trying to buy you a Christmas present, but you own every single model.
Yeah,
What
but
do
not,
you
but
need?
not Daughters of Cain. You did not own that stuff, which is mentioned.
And I said, no, those are too expensive. And you found the Underworld's boxes that I didn't even know existed. Beastgrave.
I knew because I always lurk that place I went to get the Nurgle one with the Nurgle spot. That has the
Magakin,
yeah.
yeah.
Because they have 3 cool models there, but it's always sold out. So I was always lurk it and say, oh yeah, they have like a 5-man box here, and they got it. I got you the Sanguinala present. You should be happy. You're welcome. Merry
Dude,
Christmas.
that has I literally told Suhun, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna start Daughters of Cain. He just looks at me with wide eyes and says, no, stop it, Nick, no.
Bad Nick, spritz, bad Nick, spritz.
And I looked at him, I'm like, well, I'm gonna use third-party printed models for most of the army, and looked him dead in the eye, and he's like, all right, fair.
I mean,
This man third-party printed like an entire Drakari army.
That's what I'm saying, Sue. I mean, I love you, man, but you don't get to say that. You said at the middle of the year, guys, I won't start a new army until 2022. September, guys, I just printed 2k points of Tau. Like December, guys, I just printed 2.k of Drakari. Like, Sue, you didn't say you're gonna start a new army. You said I wouldn't buy a new army, which is not the same thing as starting a new army. Like,
and do you know what else he did? Whenever I started talking about my Daughters of Cain, he looks up, he's like, yeah, I used to have an Archeon the Everchosen. I really regret selling him, and started looking up Archeon's stats, and I saw genuine fear in his wife's eyes.
sorry, Sapphire, we love you. We're sorry.
Shout out to Sapphire.
But yeah, yes, I want my snake waifus, but dude, there's gonna be so much learning curve for that, and I'm really excited because it's more me learning how to paint
flesh tones.
Flesh tones, but outside of the face, learning how the light would fall on bodies, because a lot of them have their abs exposed. So Luke, don't be taking my army home with you.
Abs. There you go.
That's bingo.
That's bingo.
Bingo.
Hey, I'm not gonna hide it, and I ain't hiding it. Okay, I ain't not gonna hide it. I am waiting for my.
Hey,
abs.
he's not simping for the ultimate abs of Latara Siren, so I feel like it's not like the usual Luke simping.
I mean, we didn't bring the topic on top.
Have you ever seen these? Have you ever seen these? Just snake waifu, like these snake girls. They are really pretty models.
No, there's the game models are beautiful.
And I mean, they have probably one of my favorite models next to Bellicor, which is Marathi Kane.
Yep. Yeah. I've seen that model.
The giant snake model.
Yeah.
So cool.
And they have
I love Gorgons since I was a kid. So like I've always loved Greek mythology and Gorgons. So
I've seen that model being kitbashed with Favio from the Eternates of Slanesh. Making the Fulgrim, the demon Fulgrim.
Jeez, I can't even remember his name because I call him Handsome Keith.
No, I call him Fabio because he's Fabio. And
Sigvald.
Oh, the one that I've seen kit bashed literally into everything that's not him. I've seen like 4 Sanguinors and like a Dante with the Sigvald.
But the thing is, his ass cheeks have a 3-up invuln save because he wears assless chaps. Look at the model.
Every single time somebody posts like a Sanguinor kit bash out of them, they're like, did you paint the golden booty cheeks? Did you paint the booty cheeks gold?
Of course.
I just love that exists. Dude, if I ever get a Sigvald model, just because I think he'd be a blast to paint, you know that I'm taking my time on that flesh tone.
Hey, look, that model is a really cool model.
It is a great
It's
model.
a fantastic model.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but yeah, I'm a big fan of
aside of that,
all the Sigmar going on.
Aside of that, yeah, as you notice, Sigmar is leaking into this. This.
I mean, we've
podcast.
been a Sigmar episode has been requested, so stay tuned. Someone has asked for it.
Oh well,
because a couple of the guys in the Sigmar group do listen to us. From time to time.
Really? We should bring one of the guys then.
And they said, hey, would you ever be willing to do a Sigmar episode? And I said,
really?
yeah,
Nice. Yeah,
I feel like
definitely.
we should all, like, for the people who haven't played Sigmar, that we should at least all play once, and then we can talk, like, a Sigmar episode. Because, like, I'm
Yeah.
curious about it, too. Like, honestly, I've
I
seen...
do have almost 9,000 points in Sigmar models.
Because, like, back in the two kind of, like, game shops I used to play in back home, there was one that had, like, a bigger Sigmar community, and every time I would go play 40k there, there'd be Sigmar people there as well. And, like, the models have always really kind of, like, made me curious about what the game plays as well, because the models are cool.
The game,
I will be honest, I love 40k and I will play that competitively till the day I die. I love it. Sigmar's models are prettier. Hands down.
I love Sigmar. I love Sigmar just because it feels refreshing. It's
a nice
as
fresh
complicated as 40k. Yes, it has more nuances. It's its own thing, but it still is so much streamlined, and you don't have to worry about so many things like, oh, am I hiding? Can you see like the little microscopic inch of the boot of my guy behind the building? Oh, no,
yeah.
he's dead. Boom. No.
Oh,
It's just like you see that guy over there in the middle of the open field. Yeah, you're just gonna charge the guy. You're gonna bonk him with the hammer. Can you do that?
oh
yeah, I can do that.
Rachel, you'd love this. This game has like minimal shooting.
There is no.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, unless you're
Just
playing
melee.
unless you're facing the spicy elves. They
No
shoot.
shooting, just stabbing. I
They
like it.
shoot the spicy elves. Yeah, the Lumineth.
Oh, okay.
The
just-
the Lumineth, and I think pretty much the Lumineth. I'm trying to think what else shoots, but there's not a ton. There's a couple others, but there's not a ton of it.
No, not much of it.
Every army has a little bit, except for mine,
Yeah.
Legions of the
But
First.
the moment,
or I guess they have a little.
the moment I had much fun when playing Sigmar was when I discovered one thing and it just sent a message to Nick. Hey Nick, in Sigmar, damage from melee spills over. He said, "What?"
I think I just like died and went to heaven in that moment.
Damage from
So
melee
there's
spills over.
there's like no
Yes.
overkill. It's literally
So
just
you deal the damage to the unit as a whole rather than to individual models.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like,
like that.
Bellacor's weapons are all 2 damage, so every hit kills 2 models. But because of that, Rend, like AP, is really rare. Seeing above AP 2 is almost impossible. Like I have seen like 2 or 3 weapons personally that have it.
I have
Did they
it.
use the old Bellicor model or the new one?
Oh no, they used the new one. He was
Oh,
released
okay,
for Sigmar first. It actually took us a couple of months to get it. He was released in April. Took us till June to get his
Rules,
40k rules.
Okay.
So yeah, he is still pretty good, but he's actually not even that good of a character because he only costs 360 points. Nagash just got a point reduction and he's like 980 now.
Oof.
So it's more like an epic battle between heroes. My characters are all 400 or 500 points each.
Yep.
And like Archeon's 880, Nagash is like 900.
Yeah, my guys,
You know.
they're on similar, but they have 300 points each, so which is it's a lot in terms of the game. Yeah,
It's just Custodes 2.0.
It's Custodes 2.0, but like every
I
army
like
is
playing elite
Custodes.
stuff, and that's why I made my guy look at Custodes, because basically I'm in my little world. The Emperor signed a deal with the Sigmars, so they borrow each other's forces every once in a while. So when you see a
Yeah.
giant Custodes Sigmarine carrying a bolter in the middle of the fantasy setting, that's me. Your boy.
Dude with a
Yeah,
bolter rocks up in the Warhammer Fantasy universe.
Yeah,
What
the
weapon is
models
this?
the models are just super pretty and they're super, it's kind of a breath of fresh air just to not paint a whole bunch of tech gribblies, but to be painting gold trim, to be painting abs, to be painting like
Hey, I can paint gold
crossbows.
trim and abs in my army too. I don't know what you're complaining about.
I want my RR energy.
You can even
out of
paint
my-
gold
dude,
abs
out of
if
my
you
snake
want.
ladies. I want my
There you
RR
go.
energy out of my snake ladies.
Oh, bingo.
Wait, what?
Ada
Is that on
anime
there?
reference.
I
is
don't
on
know
there.
any reference. There you go, boys.
And he didn't even know, so he wasn't even baiting it. Like,
No.
I didn't even bait that one. I forgot that was on there. I just because I always get bullied because my favorite character from Fate Stay Night is
it's
Medusa.
yeah.
So I always get bullied for that.
you don't
you
get
go.
bullied for that. You get bullied for everything else, Snake.
I get bullied for my personality mostly.
The big L.
Actually, you
love
know
you,
who
Nick.
bullies me the most? You know who bullies me the most? My 7th graders at school.
What? Why?
They write stories, and I'm not allowed to have happy endings. Something always goes horribly wrong for me at the end of the story. And I'm like, why? I was like, I bring you cookies. I'm so nice to you. Why?
Kids these days, they just want to see demise. A lot of people do.
So
Kids are
basically,
brutal.
basically, Nick, because these hands will never hold anything. So I said, pray. Unlimited salt works. There you go. There you go, your reference.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Nerds.
Yeah.
Nerds.
Just.
Nerd.
Nerds.
But no, I love. I gotta say, I absolutely just love. Sigmar's just. Luke and I were actually joking before the show, saying, "Yeah, we've only played a couple games of Sigmar, and we're already optimizing lists and going competitive."
We're already
It's just like, oh yeah, we're gonna
sweating.
play casual, so it'll be a breath of fresh air, and then Luke and I, we had like a
15
mini
minutes later.
tournament. Literally, we had a little mini 1K tournament. Luke and I immediately go 1-2. We're like, damn it.
Well,
No. No
All
fun
right,
allowed.
just one drink. I promise we won't play competitive Warhammer. 2 a.m. and 15 beers later.
Yeah, pretty much. But I won. I won 3-0 that day.
That's it. Literally. Do you know what I hate about this though?
We said everything
Luke
so we
and
could
I
play
have
each
never
other.
met each other in a tournament. We have never since I've been here almost a year now, and Luke and I have played in half a dozen tournaments together. We have never met each other in a tournament besides finish. I think in every tournament we've played in together, Luke, except for one, you and I finished right next to each other in the standings.
Yeah.
We have never played each other.
Yeah, you go.
We set up that day to play Sigmar against each other. And they said, hey, Nick, can you actually host that tournament? We had enough people show up. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. And I started TOing, started getting things going. And then literally we had set up the whole day so I could play Luke. Didn't
Nope.
play Luke. I was like,
nice.
It's fake.
Just as
it
planned.
was, I started singing my 2000s emo music.
Oh God, no!
No. No,
I'm not singing that one.
Don't waste.
No, I've been having Hollywood Undead in my head for the past couple of days.
But
actually.
yeah.
So
Yeah. So one of the things. So Rachel, the question I had in the sense of lore and also a little on the table is that you always make jokes about like, oh yeah, this guy's an intern in my army. Like he's just casually just being an intern. How do you come up with that?
So the joke initially, because when I started getting models for an army, was that people had given me a bunch of firstborn stuff that they didn't want.
I love Firstborn.
And I had, because like, I had a friend find a bunch of firstborn models, like some attack marines and termies and stuff like that in like his dad's basement or something. And he was like, yeah, here you go. Like, take these. I don't want them. I'm never building an army again. Shout out to Taylor, who now has 2 armies.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Shame.
Yep. Drukari and Deathwatch. But yeah.
He's that kind of
so I got a bunch-
despicable person.
Yeah. Love you, Taylor. But
She hates
Drukari
himself.
and Deathwatch.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
Drukari and Deathwatch. One
sorry,
for
go
the
on.
lore and one for the tabletop. So, yeah, I got a bunch of firstborns, and I was joking around that I was never going to have Primaris in my army, and that any Primaris that I had were just going to be like disposable interns that I make go get coffee or whatever. And so that's where the Primaris intern joke comes from.
Did you
for
ever
my army,
watch
at least.
Whitest Kid You Know?
Oh, yeah, are you talking about
Oh,
sniper
God.
business?
Yes.
Yes.
That's all I imagine. You're just like the intern that goes gets coffee. Hey, Helen,
got-
can you sit in the intern? What do you need, boss? Boom.
Boom. Okay, yep, that's where the enemy. That's where the
And
enemy emplacement
third
is. All right,
window
great.
on the left. Can you pass me that case with the mortar in it?
Yeah, that's basically the idea. Was like, I'm never gonna get Primaris, and then like, literally 2 weeks later, one of my other friends, Terry, gave me a bunch of assault intercessors that came out of the combat patrol boxes. And I was like, yeah, I'm never going to use these. Yeah.
They're so
and then,
good
like,
though.
They're so good. They're so good.
Yeah, that is a classic. Like, I'm not gonna use a Primaris unless.
Unless-
I'm not gonna start any more armies until I move. 3 beers later. 3 beers later.
Unless. So yeah, now I have 15 assault intercessors and normal intercessors and a redemptor, and I bought a Dark Angel Combat Patrol, and
Dude, I am this close of starting Slave to Darkness, so don't tempt me.
Are you going to go Bellicor slaves or Archeon?
Shh. Don't talk to me. Go on, Rachel, sorry.
no, it's okay. I mean, the only other,
Suhun
like,
used to have an entire Slaves to Darkness army that was all Verengard.
I sense some tension in the air.
I gotta let you ask to shut up. Thank you. Go on, Rachel. Please.
I guess the only other lore kind of like I have for my army is I don't have them all painted, but I've got like 5 librarians just because I like them.
Nerds.
And yeah, every time I really want the librarian dreadnought to be like competitive because he's like incredibly fun to run. Like every time I've run him in a game, he's just been an absolute tank and just like taken out half of the other army. But like I've always run him against non like competitive lists. They were just, you know, lists to like my friends were helping teach me how to play. So like I don't think he would be very useful in like an actual competitive list, but I just like that model, so I'd like him to be competitive again. But oh yeah, and my Sanguinary Guard die like every game I'm in. If I can get them to turn 3, I'm proud of
They're
them.
glass cannons. That's
Little
why you have
boys.
a priest to put them into Assault Doctrine so they can do their damage and die on turn 2.
Yep. Just yeet them in and delete a unit in front of them, and then they get
Yeet,
deleted
delete.
in return.
Yeet and delete.
Yep, that's it. Yep, they're the supposed to be the most like prime warriors of the Blood Angels, and they always die like the first thing in my games.
Well, didn't Sanguinius like sacrifice a bunch of them just to take one thing? He's like, guys, I have a plan. The plan is brute force. Get in.
Basically.
Are you talking about the time you took down a Titan in melee?
Yeah, pretty much.
But then he brought like a bunch of Sanguinary guards and they all died.
I mean, that's not ever
At
the
what
plan,
cost?
but
At
that
what
is what
cost?
happens.
I want to know though, if you had to pick a favorite lore character, who is it? Besides Sanguinius, he doesn't count.
I'm like, why are you even
Besides
asking me that
Mortarion.
He
question?
doesn't count. The best boy, the beautiful angelic hawk best boy doesn't count.
Okay.
See, if your primer was so cool, why is he dead? Checkmate, loyalist.
I'd rather a dead.
There you go.
I'd rather
go.
a dead Primarch than a depressed one.
He's also depressed. What, you know that?
He's depressed, but he's see.
He's super
Your
depressed.
guy is dead and depressed in the war at the same time.
He spends like 3 or 4 years on McCrag just moping. What are you talking about?
No, he's no longer
Why
depressed.
are you doing this?
He was cured
yeah,
of
you
his
can't be
depression.
depressed when you're dead.
Don't tell
No,
me.
even in death, his soul is still depressed in
Yeah,
the war.
his soul's kind of
being a sad
depressed
boy.
still.
Dude, all the Primarchs
yeah.
are depressed, man. Except Angron, he is having the best time.
I don't know. Can you be depressed when you're asleep? Let's ask Lion.
Dang.
That reminded me the other day because
But yeah, it's
at some point the best thing about lore is like when you are in because circling some stupid jokes, and that's the thing we were laughing the other day when I made the joke about the lion. Like, remember, children, if you win, it's not a war
It's
crime.
only a war crime if you lose.
But I gotta know, who's your favorite? Also, we're ruling out Latara Sarin because she's all of our favorites. So
I mean, yeah.
Oh,
Rock, if she's
Rock
not your
is-
favorite, then go,
Rock,
go read
fine.
Betrayer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, she tells Angron to go away.
And he listens. He's like, yeah, okay. You're right. Maybe
Yes.
I need to calm down a little
Yes,
bit.
mommy.
Latara says like, hey, Angron, can you do me a solid and just go to the corner and just stare at the wall? Pretty much.
And he
But-
does.
Of
Who is your
course.
favorite other than those two?
Oh, it's rough. Cause like,
Didn't you
wanna
just
think?
get a new?
Yeah.
Didn't you just get a new model for one of them?
for one
Uh,
of
Yeah,
what?
isn't
Beak
he your,
Boy.
your
Beak
beloved
Boy.
model?
Beak Boy.
The
Dominion
super
Zephyr.
more inaccurate
Cybernetic
model.
Yeah.
Beak Boy.
Yeah, another one of my favorite Blood Angel sad boys. Dominion Zephyr, the all like near quadriplegic sad boy Blood Angel. Yeah, that model has issues. I'm happy that his character is getting a model, but I'm still gonna have to kit bash a good one for my War in the Webway army, just so he can sit on the side and be sad.
You're literally creating a man to give him depression. Nice.
I mean, what did you expect? He's a Blood Angel, dude. Like, that's like a genetic trait, is depression.
So you wake up in the morning, to the list, be sad, commit war crimes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm doing both.
Yeah,
Let's
All
go.
right,
There you
it's
go.
10 a.m. and my list is done.
Honestly, I'm trying to think of like other favorite characters. Like Loken's pretty high on that list.
It's totally Ryan Lenore, isn't it?
It is. Rylanor's pretty good, but I mean, like he
Actually,
only
no.
has like.
There's only one Dreadnought I put in the same class as Rylanor, and Rachel, you know who he is. My Death Guard boy.
Your
Don't
Death
worry,
Guard boy?
virus bombs can't hurt me. I'm a Dreadnought.
Oh, dude, what's his name? Like, I forget his name, but that that hurt.
Oh man,
That
and
hurted.
they see the crack in his armor, and I'm like,
No. Dude, seriously, the Dreadnought dying in a 40k story is equivalent to the dog dying in any other story.
It
You're just
really
like,
is.
Oh my God.
Losing a Dreadnought is like the dog dying, unless it's Bjorn. That's like losing a Chihuahua. You're like,
I'm gonna give points to, if we're talking about dreadnoughts, Lork, the World Eaters dreadnought, who decided to punch Angron because he
yes,
was done
Lork
with it.
is cool.
Lork is a Chad.
What are you gonna do? Kill me again? Does that But yeah, I was gonna say I love
I'm just gonna say the best Primarch in the whole thing is, of course, Peter Turbo.
I was wondering
God,
how long
I
we were gonna
hate
make it into this
Peter.
episode. Why is
There
that
you
not a
go.
bingo square?
Peter Turbo.
Why is that not a bingo
if,
square?
if you want to know, if you want to see a really good story, go watch Baltimore's 3-part series on Rogel.
Oh yeah, I know the
longest minute.
Yeah.
Dude, I
Yeah.
was listening. So
all
I was
watch it.
working for the New York Department of
Baltimore, please
Labor
call me.
a little while back. While I was listening to that, I was filling out paperwork listening to that, and I'm just like, I'm glad I was working from home at the time because I was like tearing up at my desk.
Oh man.
My boy needs a hug.
It's not just how good the whole thing is. It's just Voldemort, beautiful.
Oh
sweet
yeah,
voice.
his voice
he
is
has
so
so many
great.
great videos. Okay, so wait. Okay, so who's our second favorite Primarch then? Because everybody's got their normal.
Sanguinius
favorite.
is
I have
obviously the
one-
best. Second
mean, yeah.
favorite.
Wow.
Mortarion.
Rock. Shh.
Shush,
No,
shush.
no, I don't want to hear your heresy. I don't want.
It's
Hey, I don't want to hear your
literally
heresy.
death incarnate. If you think
Dude.
about
No, he
Mortarian's
wants to
an
die,
excellent-
but he wants to die, but he can't. That's different.
Mortarion got
Morty.
wrecked by his first captain, so shh.
Morty is not that cool.
You
bro.
want
Morty-
to talk
Morty's
to me
a
about
pretty
I
nice
Primarchs
know,
a
lord.
little
but
bit?
like when it comes to the concept and everything, like
Oh, his
the
his
design
model
of the
is
character.
so
Oh, he
sick.
looks cool.
He's
He
a
looks super
easily
cool.
the coolest looking model. Easily.
His demon
talking
Primarch
about that.
model.
I was talking about that.
I was actually checking in 2017. He actually did win Model of the Year with GW's Model of the Year. So well
Aw,
earned.
it's the first time Mortarion's ever won anything.
Yay, he got that approval.
No, he didn't.
Hey, he had granddad. approval.
Oh,
Okay, Rachel, you're about to
It counts.
hate me.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Oh god.
Fulgrim.
Why do I don't have anything wrong. Like I
Oh
don't.
no, wait, you hate
Fulgrim.
it. You hate Fabius and Eidolon.
Yeah. Eidolon just because he's terrible, and Fabius just because he won't stop stealing things that are important to Blood Angels, so he just needs to leave.
I think
Only
although
Blood Angels.
no, he steals from everyone. He's
Specifically.
if Trazen became human, it's Fabius.
I mean, pretty close. Yeah.
But yeah, I love Fabius because I find like just the research he does super cool, and like how he goes about doing it and justifying it, I just find kind of
I like how
messed
you
up
say
and kind of
cool.
interesting. I find it interesting.
Cool is a loose and fast description.
Okay, Miss Warcrime.
You know, what? Yeah, my second favorite
You're the one
loyalist
that- you're
Primarch
the
being
lady.
the lion. Yeah,
I was
that's
gonna
pretty.
say, the lion's the kind of person that would check if napalm actually does stick to kids.
That's dark.
I guess you could say they're dark angels.
Oh, the lion's Google
Oh
search
my
history. That's
God.
terrible.
No. Okay, I'm out, guys. I'm out. Bye bye.
Cringe.
Saying that it's over.
I'm done.
Guys, that was
The
canceled.
episode's over.
Why is me
the warp report.
why is me forcibly ending the warp report not on here?
Yeah, someone fake ending it
Because-
because Nick says something too cringe.
Yeah,
Yeah, we should put it in there.
Cringe.
I'm just gonna. I'll just run the warp report solo. Just all by myself.
Oh,
Wait, but
God.
Rock,
Huh?
we have
What?
heard precious few words from you in this section, other than Mortarion. Do you have any opinions?
Other than a terrible take and a horrible opinion, what else do you have to say?
Wow. Okay.
Call him Morty
Okay.
the best Primarch. You're gonna have to redeem yourself here, buddy.
No. When it comes to like the style,
All right,
I'm
I will
giving
give you.
Morty the
I
points.
will give you that. He is
Okay,
a master
for-
of style. I'll
For
give you
his
that.
demon Primarch model, he looks absolutely sick. His
Yes,
30k
the-
model is
No,
honestly
no,
one
not
of
that
the
much, not
like
that much.
yeah, it's
In
not
the
so
books,
great.
the way he's described
No,
in
no.
the books, he's awesome.
He's super he's super cool.
No, I mean,
I'm not even
yeah.
gonna lie.
His 40k model, this 30k model is who is you, and then the 40k is versus the guy she tells you what to wear. That's pretty much it.
Well, when it comes to my other, like, I think I'll go for Robuti Gilliman.
Do you just have a
Wow,
track
from a
record
bad
with
take to a
depressed?
worse take. Oh my god.
From depressed boy to depressed boy.
I'm just
I
kidding.
mean, like,
That's a valid
in his,
opinion.
to be fair, in his
is.
case, like, he tries to actually fix the Imperium, I guess.
He does. He is actually probably
Yeah, but-
he's up there on my top 3 Primarchs.
But
He's
at
giving it a
like
good
real
try.
talk though, like he knows that like this religious or something like that, like it's false. Like it's not what the the emperors try to like do or something like that. But in the end, he knows the Imperium does need zealotism, like religious zealotism.
If he yanks
in order
it
for
out,
them
it'll
to
collapse.
survive. Like
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
so like buried in deep to the Imperium's like culture at this point that he
Yeah,
like
you
not
just
even
can't
he
change
can
it.
do anything to stop it. So
Exactly.
I mean, the guy's like a master politician, so he understands
My
like how this
favorite,
works.
my favorite point is whenever he revives and he goes to like Calgar and says, "May I take command? May I assume command of this chapter?" And it's like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, he's like
Gilliman's a nice
one of
guy.
the
you're
most
the
reasonable guy,
Primarch.
like,
You could
literally.
have just said, "I'm in charge now," but he actually requests for he actually requests
To be in
for
charge.
command from Marnius, so he like
Exactly.
doesn't
He's, like,
ruffle
one
any
of the-
feathers.
Exactly. He's literally like one of the most reasonable guy in the 40k universe, like honestly.
He's like the least
Like,
criminal
honestly,
war
yeah.
criminal.
And also
No, you said reasonable. You said reasonable.
wait a
No,
minute.
no.
Wait
Wait
a
a second.
minute. Did
You
you
said
read-
reasonable.
No, least
Did you read the
criminal
book
war
where he's,
criminal.
Did you read the
No,
book?
no, because
in the Imperium. In the Imperium, there you
in the
go.
Imperium. Did you read the part where he's punching word bearers' heads off in the vacuum of space? Because he can go
Beautiful.
ham when he wants to.
No, but this is you say he's reasonable in the Imperium. Like, of course he's reasonable in the Imperium.
Everybody's crazy.
Everybody except him. Like, what if we put nukes inside drop pods? Does
Hey,
it count
hey.
as a bomb?
It's
Yeah,
only a
no.
war crime
Like, what
if
if
you
we?
lose.
Yeah, pretty much. And then they have all the guys like, what if we just send a bunch of Tyranid hives to these worlds? There are people in there. I don't care. They ain't my people. They of course he's reasonable. Of course he's gonna be reasonable with those. That's just standard or reasonable. Gilman is the Mother Teresa of Calcutta, man.
I was gonna say he's nice. I will die on the hill. He's nicer than Vulcan. Vulcan set an Eldar child on fire. He actually checked if
They tell-
napalm sticks to kids, and it does.
He texts
Child had it
texts
done.
Lionel
Is
Johnson
actually a
in the
pretty
group
good
chat.
guy, but
He
like,
set
he
a
has
child
some-
on fire because he annoyed him.
The kid was asking
Dude's
for
got some
it.
issues, man.
Well, I'm
Dude's
just
got
saying,
some issues.
child.
You know, I'm just saying. I've taught a lot of kids over the years. You know, a couple hundred.
Where's this going, Nick?
Vulcan, I get it, but no.
So we just got a live recording that Nate wants to torture kids.
Please
with the
don't.
flamethrower.
No,
Thank you.
no. The thing is, why, dude? Like,
Wait, okay,
everyone's
Luke,
like, he's the
or,
nice guy.
Luke, we're just gonna
Sets a
move on.
child on fire. Like, bruh, how is this the nice guy? The Lamenters did not die for this slander.
Oh, my poor boys, my poor yellow boy. We're gonna move on to Luke's favorite loyalist Primarch before Nick says anything else incriminating.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're like the sad Brian in the 40k universe, the Lamenters, like literally.
Poor boys.
They're just bad luck,
That's so-
Brian.
Yeah, they tried to help, but in the end, like, what happens?
Honestly, for me, the one that I know the least, and just the only thing I know is because one meme is Ferrus Manus. Honestly, I know nothing
'cause
about
he just
him.
dies
He's like,
too soon.
he's such a
Like-
bland thing. Yeah, no, he dies soon, but he's like bland.
He doesn't get the chance to get
his
explored.
death was very sad, though. He has one of the saddest deaths. He basically
one
got
of.
killed by his only friend.
That's true.
Yeah, but I mean, the only thing I know about Ferrus is that meme of the guy who got drunk at a party, and then he was crying about Ferrus Manus. And then everybody just think like, "Are you okay?"
You're
He had
talking
a
about your friend
called
Ferris that died or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I know about Ferrus, basically.
Yeah, I mean, he just doesn't get explored. His character doesn't get explored enough because he just dies so early on in the heresy. So
Yeah, he just lost his head.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not everyone can turn into literal Batman.
Speaking of literal Batman, Conrad
lines.
Kurz is up there as number one on
No,
my
he's
my,
not literal Batman.
Traitor Primarch list because I love Conrad Kurz.
Literal Batman is Corvus, who turned into a literal into like a shadow raven, and has just been screaming outside Lorgar's house for several hundred years.
Every time Lorgar thinks about going outside, it's just this swarm of esoteric ravens like screaming outside his door, and he's like, you know what? Maybe not.
But this is what you made me laugh about that when you mentioned, oh yeah, you can snipe stuff with your guys, and you said, oh, I can't imagine Khal Rodrigo being sniped. Just imagine the guy. Guys, I finally out of the warp. I come back to the Materium, sniped.
Boom.
Boom.
Headshot.
And he's right back.
Traitor Primarchs.
Favorite Traitor Primarch, yeah.
Ooh, as I say, looks. I mean, hands down, Mortarion.
I already said Peter Turbo.
Hands down, Mortarion. I have like that one's a tough one because I like how spiteful Peter Turbo is.
Dude, it's not spiteful. The guy was the only thing that
No,
carried
he's
the
so
heresy.
he
Everyone's
hates
just like doing
the
their
man
thing.
is the embodiment of spite whenever it comes to demons. He's like, I don't like you.
I really-
I'm gonna
Yeah.
enslave you. Like, wait, what?
I really like how you guys love Peter Turbo because he's like the most reasonable of the Traitor Primarchs, and I love Conrad Kurz because he's the most unhinged of the Traitor Primarchs.
No, Traitor Primarchs. If Horus didn't kill Sanguinius, he'd be number one.
Man, Horus before he fell was such a Chad.
He was so cool. Whenever I saw like him fall,
He was so
it made
dreamy.
me so sad.
I'm like, damn, this
actually,
doesn't make
like-
sense, but okay.
Oh yeah, I saw a meme about that it got me questioned. They say like when you are a civilian in this planet and then you see like a train of super engineer soldiers carrying their dad bleeding out and murdering everybody on the way there. How is that about it? Because it got me curious. I need to see that at the moment. Like they were like desperate to take Horus to safety, and they were just
Yeah.
bodying every single civilian on
This
the
is
way.
actually a huge plot point of, I believe. You see that
False
False
Gods.
Gods at Galaxy of
It's
Flames?
False Gods into
It's
the
False Gods, yeah.
halfway into Galaxy of Flames.
Yeah, so like after Horus gets injured,
On Davin.
and that's the whole reason that they have it's he gets injured on
The moon of
the
Davin.
planet that's infested with the Nurgle demons.
Yeah, which
or
is
whatever.
the moon of Davin.
Yeah, I can't remember which one like what the name of the place is specifically, but yeah, he gets injured, and the Mournival, like all the Luna Wolves, they have no idea what to do because they're like, dude, that's Horus, and he's like on the ground, like what? And so they just like pick him up and take him back to the Vengeful Spirit. And when the Thunderhawk lands in the landing bay, there's a bunch of remembrancers, there's a bunch of like humans like just on the deck like waiting for them to come back, like what's going on? And they're like, they just want to get into the Medicaid bay as quickly as possible. And humans can't move fast enough to get out of the way of the Astartes, so they just run them over. They literally kill like 50 civilians.
At
like,
least
or
I've
more.
heard like yeah,
At
it's
least.
and
that makes the civilians on the ship very unhappy.
even when
Yeah.
when Loken says they're being unreasonable, you might be being unreasonable.
I mean, look, Space Marines go a little nuts when their dad gets stabbed. We've seen this.
But yeah, it's
So yeah, it was a bit much. They ran over a bunch of people.
I feel really bad,
and
but I don't want to say Fulgrim again as my favorite Primarch, but
you go on Fulgrim for favorite loyalist before he fell, and then Fulgrim for favorite Chaos Primarch too.
it's either actually no, because one other Primarch, it's because I love his Legion. Not as much him. Because I like him loyalist. Actually, I'd have to say loyalist. And he ranks with Fulgrim for loyalist and heretic. It's Angron.
Angron is an interesting
But it's because
character.
I think
really.
I think I'm clouded by Lotara Sarin and Karn the Betrayer. Because Karn is hands down one of my favorite characters in all of Warhammer.
Yeah,
I'm
not going to argue with that.
He's just Giga Chad. He's just like, I don't care. If you're near me, you're dying. I do not care from where the blood flows. Only that it does.
He gets so much characterization through all the little audio dramas that they have him in, and through Betrayer and all the other books that he's in. Like he's such a nuanced character.
He does have one of the sad stories.
Man,
though.
Argel
Like,
Tall. Whenever he watched Argel Tall become a possessed, oh man,
It's not even that. Like there's your best bro.
I
getting
remembered.
killed by Erebus.
I did remember though what their name used to be. They used to be the Warhounds, the War Dogs.
Was it Warhounds or it was Warhounds?
It was
or something
Warhounds,
like that.
I think. It was Warhounds.
I
and
just
they
read
said,
this book. I should know.
They said, my favorite thing is the first thing he says to Angron. We are your legion. As the Warhounds, we have eaten cities. But with you, we shall eat worlds. And Angron looks at him and says, come with me then, my world eaters. And boom.
Yeah, they're pretty metal.
I think
Man,
the only
man, I just feel my hands bleeding above the edge. Oh god.
no corn. Actually, if you want some real edge, listen to Baldamore's entry on the Night Lords. I think he does the voice.
Let's say if you want some real edge.
But have you heard the way he does his Night Lord voice? It is exactly it's exactly how I imagine the Night Lords. Like a Night Lord, like a Chaos one. He's completely unhinged and just psychotic, and it's great. But like Joker, like psychotic. It's great. It's so
They're
great.
absolute train wrecks from top to bottom, every single one of them, and
they
I love
accept it.
It is
They
it is a
accept that.
mess. It is a
They
mess.
are. Yeah, the Night Lords, like literally.
It is a mess. I love it. Like there's stuff happening, and I can't remember the Lion or Gilliman's like questioning Conrad, and they're like, "Yeah, your Legion's doing all this stuff." He's like, "Oh, really? I left them like a couple years ago. I just left. If they're doing that, great, good for them. I don't know. I don't know. They ain't my kids."
Conrad is like that movie from is like that scene from Spaceballs. He gets stabbed in the neck. It's like, what are you trying to do? Kill you? No, more to the left, like right here. There, yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm just saying, Sanguinius could see his death every minute of every day too, and he didn't sit around and let an assassin kill him. He went out like a Chad.
I love how at one point they're like Sanguinius has Conrad prisoner, and instead of like doing anything useful, Sanguinius decides to be extremely spiteful and tell Conrad, "Okay, so you know how you can see your future?" And he's like, "Yeah." "Where you get killed by an assassin?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm gonna let you have that future." And he just locks him into a stasis pod and jettisons him into the void while he screams. It's hilarious.
So great.
It's like, maybe the Emperor would forgive you if I brought you back to Terra. Have you ever thought about that? And like for 1 second, Conrad gets this like glimmer of hope in his eye, and he's like, I'm not gonna let you have that redemption. Psych.
Just a prank, bro. Hits the eject button.
Just a prank, bro. Maybe you should have thought about that before you tore the arms off my favorite son.
Prank, bro.
Get out of here.
But would it be the like best spiteful thing to do is to like reject the premonition of Conrad Curse, if you think about it?
To reject it, like...
But
Like,
he was told that.
No,
yeah,
totally.
like literally, just like, you know, bring it to the
Just kill
Emperor or
him?
something like that.
Oh.
No,
Well,
because
because he always
just
saw...
Or just kill him, or
Well,
there's that
No,
also.
it's not,
Yeah.
the whole gimmick of that is it goes back to the loop of the when it comes to story writing, it goes the rules of fate. Like, oh, if you don't do this, you're gonna bound to become this. But then you have the other side of the story. Is like, well, are you gonna fight through it or not?
Right.
And even then, and that's the beautiful thing when they try to make these kind of stories where the guy has a fate. For example, have you know Oedipus, right?
Oedipus.
Everyone knows Oedipus. So the incest jokes that everybody knows, the incest
Yes.
jokes. The things like the guy was literally doing everything in his power to not do what he was supposed to do, which is basically doing things with his mom, and he's exactly, and they're committing exactly that. And that's the poetic or the romantic side of fighting against fate. Maybe you're doing everything to stop your fate from happening, and that's exactly what makes it.
That's exactly what makes it happen, yeah. And plus the prophecy that Conrad Curse saw of his death was being killed by one of the Emperor's assassins. So,
And
like...
I think,
in
like,
his...
Conrad, his thing...
Sorry,
yeah.
let's Rachel.
In his mind, like, the
sorry,
closer
sorry.
you get him to the Emperor, the more likely that is to happen. So shooting
just-
him on the opposite trajectory in a stasis pod, which is a tiny fleck of dust compared to anything, away from Terra, like, this is, like, on the clear other side of the galaxy. This is, like, the Ultima Segmentum from Terra. So this is a long way away. It's probably going to be the thing that delays it the longest. So,
It's like that idea, like, I kind of always said, well, it's the same thing I say with Bellicor and my keepers, is the anticipation of the punch is worse than the actual thing.
There you go.
Wait,
bingo.
what?
bingo.
Damn it.
Yeah, Keepers was on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, it's the
Keepers there.
anticipation of the. I feel like, okay, I'm just saying. I feel it now looking at it, I feel like Rachel simped for a Horse Heresy character somewhere in here.
I mean,
She already did.
But yeah,
why am I on so many of these squares?
so am I. It's literally you and me. But no, I definitely feel like his anticipation of waiting for his death is worse than the actual thing.
It's the JoJo thing of like cars floating in space for so long that he stopped thinking or whatever.
It's all. It's
Basically
actually.
the same thing.
It's all a JoJo reference.
Go bless cars.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, oh god, it's already God, it's so late, guys. All right.
Oh.
So you think should we call it out here?
Yeah.
Should we end? But before we end, I am only missing one spot for the bingo,
Oh no.
and I'm ashamed it didn't happen. I'm surprised it did not happen. I got Rachel Never Ending Backlog, Ada Anime Reference, Sanguinius, Rock by the Dem Codex. And I was missing Do It.
Do it.
Nobody said do
Nobody
it.
said do it.
Nobody
Just
said do it.
Wow.
Do it.
I was so close.
Just do it.
I was just close. I was so close.
Just do it. Do
I was
it.
So close. Well,
Just do
thanks
it.
for joining us today on the extravaganza episode of
This is a long one,
We fought
but
to do the bingo, but we got a few laughs out of it.
We did.
And good lord, it's gonna take me ages to render because I don't have. my computer.
just go back to our previous episodes, and you can probably fill this out very, very easily.
Yeah, you can hit this bingo
Yes,
card on
most
almost
likely.
every episode.
Much easier than today.
But yeah,
we were being conscious about it. Yeah.
Merry Christmas, and to
All right.
all, may you have a good night, and hopefully your Primarch lives to see the end of the siege.
Hey.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry
Merry
Christmas,
Christmas,
and
yo.
Nurgle bless.
Eps, be with ya.